Alrighty, well, hello, peoples of YouTube and other IGC members. We're here back with another episode of Masks New Generation. I know we missed last week's episode because of just busy schedules, but come hurricanes or high water, we're here for tonight, so we'll try and catch up for some lost time.
That was a good one.
So we have our normal players here. Thankfully, no one's currently underwater, but if I remember correctly, we left off last week with you guys having had some realizations about some of your party members and their lack of humanity, but dealt through that and left on a kind of cliffhanger of you guys being perhaps in more trouble than you even thought you were.
Hmm.
In good comic fashion, I'm not going to start with that to keep the
Where did
suspense
we
going.
end again?
So you guys were down, at least some of you were down in Neri's lab when she had been reading the plans you got from Parasol, and she ended with, "Oh, we're fucked," and that was the end of the magazine.
Nice. Right, I remember now.
Just to keep our theoretical readers in suspense, this issue would probably start off outside the lab, actually, with a pair of roughhousing dog people hybrid things, as we'll open up with you, Muscle.
I am Sheep.
I assume you'd been playing mostly hunting squirrels, just doing whatever you guys normally did, but after a while, Muscle Fox will kind of stop and grow serious and look at you, and he'll say, "Brother, I think it is time we have a serious discussion."
Talkies?
Talkies without walkies.
Hmm,
Oh, shoot.
that is serious.
Do not ask me to explain how I know. It is only, I feel as though our time is growing short, brother. I believe our fated duel must take place soon.
Says who?
It says the burning within my flesh. I fear that the conclusion draws ever closer.
Okay. But why do we need to fight? I do not understand.
I understand that you do not understand, but understand that I understand that we must fight.
But I don't want to fight you.
Sheep, I must repeat, there will be a day when you, I, and our third brother must end each other. That day fast approaches. What will you do?
I don't understand why we have to do this. So, I'm going to ask you nicely. Don't. I don't see why we have to.
He would kind of stroke his chin at that and just look at you and shake his head.
Does Muscle Sheep also feel like that burning that he must fight Muscle Fox?
I would say no, that for reasons probably ones you might find out the more you dig into it, um, that Muscle Sheep doesn't have the same like programming that his brothers do.
Okay.
But basically, what he's saying, and he'll kind of rest the point as you seem reluctant, is that he feels a conclusion is approaching, and he wants to prepare you for it.
Okay. I do not think that we must fight, brother.
Indeed, you have always been reluctant to engage in your duty. I would just have you know, Sheep, that I do not feel there is much time left. The trials move apace, and if one of us is not prepared, we both will fall.
The muscle sheep is ready for anything.
Then I hope that Cat will also be merciful.
You and I have become somewhat of friends. Surely Cat will see the way. Cat will also chase squirrels and fight mailman and destroy cars.
Cars are not all Cat wants to destroy. Much anger was that one programmed with.
Well then, she will show Cat how to release anger in constructive ways.
And probably panel would transition from that. Back down in the lab, Mary folds the plans she had in front of her on the ground and just kind of cups her head and says, picking back up from last week, well, we're screwed.
Why is that?
How much of the amplifier tower talk did you pick up from before Void Spawn?
I think I know most of it about how there's a mobile thing underground that there's like a network that's being built that'll spread it out across the globe.
Well, I'm sure they'd like it across the globe. They're starting smaller, though. Just these calculations are right 4, and it would just be around the city, but they'd have the whole city at that point. Highlight, you're the stupid one. How can I help you understand this?
Ow.
I didn't even say anything. I didn't even know I was there. I thought I left.
Oh, did you leave? I'm sorry.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you were forced to take the dogs out.
Yeah,
Now he's the
Okay.
stupid
we let the
one.
dogs out.
So you let the dogs out?
Well,
Oh.
Jolem let the dogs out.
Yeah, and then she gave you the leash and told the
Yeah.
dogs to run around.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry if I misremembered that.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Just to kind of, how do I say this? Like, educate her point to maybe some of the less scientific members of the room down here. Neri will crumple up a piece of paper into like a ball and toss it at you, Voids.
Attempt to catch it.
Roll a dexterity balance check, and that's going to be with disadvantage -5.
Shit,
Thank
I'm
goodness we
terrible
don't
at
do
dex.
that.
But you can catch it pretty easily, and then she'll kind of gesture for you to toss it to someone else.
Who all else is here? I can't even remember.
At least Marrow and Titania are. I think
I
Emily.
am.
You're still.
Yeah.
I think Emily and I think Jalim. Are you still there too?
Yeah.
So those people.
I'll toss it to Emily.
So quickly, she'll open her hand for it back, Emily. Assuming you'll give it to her. You guys just start this rhythm of her to Void to Emily to her to Void to Emily, just as it's the panels will just show this paper ball bouncing back and forth. She'll just continue talking and say, as long as there's someone to monitor the signal like this, the paper ball is Young's mind control, and it can keep bouncing between the towers forever.
Well, that seems annoying. And unnecessary.
If they can set it up just right, the entire island that Halcyon City is on will permanently be under like a mind control field from Young. Anyone that sets foot on it, instantly under his control.
Is there any way we can at least disrupt the signal?
If you can well, she was gonna say it simply, but I think she'll do something funnier. She'll toss it to Void, stand up, and as Void is going to toss it to Emily, she pushes Emily over,
Hey.
Oh,
which the ball then falls and scatters to the floor.
I see.
But no, you said as long as there's someone monitoring the signal, that can't happen.
It won't drop it by itself. You'd have to blow up the whole tower.
Would it be possible to instead redirect a tower, set it to something that can lock the signal down in one spot?
Theoretically possible. You'd still have to figure out what to do with the signal once you've trapped it there. It would still make a kind of really bad mind control juju feel.
If nothing else, it would make for a interesting hostage.
True. The point is, if they'd already gotten this up and running like their plans here say, we'd already be out of this game, fellas. They obviously haven't finished yet.
Right. So now the question is, do we go after one that's in construction, or do we go for one that's finished? What'll set them back more is now the bigger question.
You guys will have to figure that out for yourselves, and you'll have to make a pretty hard choice. I think, Chilem, you can agree that Belladonna wouldn't have put something this important where it's easy to get to.
Right.
I'm honestly not sure that either option is our best way forward. Either attacking where they're constructing or something that's already been done. If it comes down to a battle of our will versus their wallets, I think we're going to lose.
I mean, we could always go after their wallets.
I perk up. Money? What are we talking about now?
Money! Oh, no one just leaves him hanging.
Nobody wants to talk about money.
Oh,
Who wants to talk about murder?
No.
We're thinking of ways of completely turning over the banking system, so any money that you had now goes to everyone else.
Oh, I don't like that idea.
Figured.
well, didn't know we were working on a Soviet Russian type of RPG, but here we go.
You know, you laugh, but one of the last 3.5 campaigns I DM'd was their main goal was to spread socialism.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
It was like, you know, it was like a hoo hoo hee hee ha ha kind of thing, but it was still kind of funny.
Well, Neri will pick up the thread and look at you, voice one, to say, well, what do you have in mind then? If we let them finish this, the game's over.
Going after their wallets seems a a more applicable battle. They certainly won't expect it, at least at first. If we get a strong starting blow, it can put them on their back foot.
So you want to disable the largest corporation in Halcyon City, which, need I remind you, controls the entire Hero Association of Halcyon City and all of the funds therein.
But yeah, the moment they no longer have the money to control it, well, they don't have the control.
I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not there.
I mean, worst comes to worst, we can always just like find Young again and put a few rounds in his like brain thing or whatever the hell he is.
Well, I will say, just for the sake of clarity, if it wasn't abundantly obvious, you guys know exactly where one of these amplifiers are because you watched Young use it.
Hmm.
Getting back in there is going to be a challenge. They know we know where it is.
But they know you know where it is.
And like
Obviously, the poison is in both glasses.
Worst comes to worst, we get caught and we get screwed. Like that's the worst case scenario, but the big chance that we pull this off, well, honestly, I think that's like the best chance we got.
I'm now picturing us in that scene from Office Space trying to look up money laundering in the dictionary.
Emily, you have anything to add, or is this conversation just kind of going around her?
She's paying attention, but she is waiting for an opportunity to throw the paper ball back this entire time to hit her.
Okay.
She was waiting all this time.
Like, put a rock in the middle of it discreetly.
Oh god.
Wow.
Pretty sure that's more up Jellum's alley, though.
If you want
I mean,
to
replace rock with the powder, but
you can make a directly engage a threat roll for fun if you want to. Oh no. Well, you try. You wait for a good opportunity. You try and scope it out. You're hanging back and you wait for a moment when Neri is really casting a really scathing look at something Highlight said. Her back is turned, and you just toss the paper, and her neck just swivels to the side, and it just sails past. She just flicks you off.
so anyways, we have another personal or pressing matter to deal with.
And that would be...
Like, she turns to Emily, your folks. Pretty sure they're gonna want to know what's going on.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So I mean, like, unless we'll break for the day and we'll meet up tomorrow. With...
Neri will rub her face and kind of sigh and say, yeah, y'all need to take care of what you need to do, and let's meet back up tomorrow. And if you come back, just know that this will be end game, guys. We'll need to make this count.
Right. At this point, we're playing for keeps.
Well, the floor is yours then, gentlemen, and how you wish to prepare for the end game.
Jillian will recommend that Emily at least heads home first.
Unfortunately,
Void
yeah.
Void would like to work or make the offer at least to work with Jalem on trying to reverse engineer an antidote to that chemical to see if we can inoculate ourselves against the mind control effect.
Right. And we already have a basis given her own power-up serum. At least I hope that's a working basis.
Or you have a base of what?
As a starting point.
You mean like the material you had gotten before?
Right.
Yeah. You would still have that on the Kirby Craft, I believe.
Yep.
So to be clear, Emily was being sent home by herself.
I'm pretty sure
we would drop her off.
Yeah, and the thing is, we'd have to park the Kirby Craft on the roof, and then we just do our work at the house, so to speak. Because I think being separated is the worst case scenario at this point.
Okay, so you're going to send Emily to face her parents while you guys do science experiments on the roof. Got it.
Well, they won't be deadly science experiments. Give us some credit.
Alright. Dan, what is Highlight intending to do now?
He is not going to do science experiments because that sounds boring. But he'll probably be by himself. I don't think he's going to go to the dorm, but I do think he'll call his manager because I need to do some damage control over my wanted reputation right now.
You do remember that your manager was one of the ones under the mind control effect, right?
Fuck, never mind, just kidding.
Well, you hit a true point. You guys are all public enemies right now.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, he's probably bonkers.
You saw the gold rings around his eyes when you were in the car with him last time.
Yeah, I remember now. Ooh. I guess I'll just be by myself on my phone. My happy place.
Alrighty.
And so you're riding the Kirby Craft with us, right?
Yeah.
And Jillian just if you need to stretch your legs, you can still walk around the house. It's still I still have it under surveillance.
Emily could probably do with not being alone facing her parents at the moment.
Yeah. Besides, if worse comes to worse, Nor can bail you out.
Well, the offer is there if you want to be a sociable Highlight.
Fine. I'm not in a good mood.
Yeah, and bit of flavor there as the ship would be flying back to Emily's house. There definitely would be some panels, probably of Highlight being a bit challenged as he looks online, and for the first time in his recent life, he can't get on and talk to people. He can't get on and have people think of him in a good light. He's just seeing the internet full of people calling for him to get arrested and bring this
He's
traitor in.
unpopular.
Hashtag cancel culture. Gosh.
Oh my god, that's about me.
I mean, to be fair, you're not unpopular. You're just popular in a different way.
In all the wrong ways.
Okay, fine, I'll take that.
Oh, there is totally a segment of your old fandom of like prepubescent girls who love the bad boy angle you're going for.
Hmm.
I want to die.
On our way back to the house, we stop off to get him a leather jacket.
Yeah, the anti-establishment thing totally is a look. It's just not mainstream for you.
And probably not the best look for him right now. Him or his brand.
But you guys will return to Emily's house. We'll get to the science experiment that happens shortly, but highlight you're gonna escort your companion down to her parents.
Sure.
Emily and highlight you'll find as you parked on the roof, right?
Yes, I think we did that last time too. I'm trying to remember if
I
the
think
roof was set up
so.
for that or not.
I think we said you did, so being consistent with it. But so as you guys are working your way down from the upper floors of the house to the lower ones, you will observe a house that's really been kind of tossed and turned over today. You don't have like maids or anything. You're not that rich, are you, Emily?
No.
Okay, but more manually then. But you've definitely seen pictures taken off the wall, closets emptied, some towels and other linens kind of scattered in hall closets that have been emptied more recently, and that just kind of persists as you get down to a foyer.
And this just looks like they've gone through it right, not like it's been broken into.
If you want to stop and check, you can. It's hard to tell from just walking down.
Okay, I'll check just in case.
So Emily will pull you to the side, highlight, and kind of check in, let's say, like your guest room, and yeah, it doesn't look like there's been like any property damage, but someone's gone through and like take this, leave that type of thing, and really cleaned a lot of these rooms out.
Cool, cool. Alright then.
Emily's house is totally ransacked.
No, I remember what happened last session, but I can't remember if that was like a splash art or if I'm supposed to know. Am I supposed to know yet?
That was a splash. That was a splash art.
Okay.
Right, that was not something Emily has been aware of yet.
Okay, I just couldn't remember. So she'll take highlight down and kind of call out for her dad to see where they are in the house.
Takes about 3 seconds when you hear something drop from the sitting room, and Hugo comes rushing out. He's not being mean, he's not pushing you aside, highlight, but he definitely like suddenly sweeps up Emily in a big hug and like picks her up off the ground.
Can't relate.
Ouch.
That's a belief.
I mean, I have double the amount of dads I should have, so you can have one of them.
I don't even want one.
Let me guess which one you'd give him.
But as he picks you up, Hugo's just squeezes you tight, and he just says, "Emily, where the hell have you been? We've called everyone."
Just hanging out. I'm good.
He sets you down and like one hand on either side of your face and just looks at you and hanging out? Really? You were going out with your friends earlier today, and we got a crazy call about something going on at the Parasol building where you definitely said you weren't going, and then we saw the news.
I mean, we do know the news is propaganda, right?
We do.
We're learning. I know. Didn't they teach you that in high school? They're teaching us that right now. We totally weren't at the building. It's fine.
Okay, your other father would like to have a word with you in the sitting room.
Oh no.
I don't know that we've met. As he looks at you, highlight. Want a cup of coffee while we sort this out?
Sure. This is like in a really sourpuss voice.
He wanted a hug too.
No, I didn't.
He'll kind of drag you along into the kitchen where he gives you not just a hot chocolate, but a hot chocolate with whipped cream on it to try and turn that frown upside down.
Hugo was the best dad.
And I just have like the flat smile, like the flat mouth emoji face.
And polite cat.
I was thinking polite cat.
Yeah, basically.
Alright, but Emily, you get into the room with Scott, and he looks as though he had just been on the phone, but after hearing the same things Hugo did, he's put that down and he's just like massaging his temple.
Hi.
So, do any of your friends, or preferably you, want to tell me why my daughter decided to become a terrorist?
I mean, I could say it's a total like misunderstanding, but you're probably not gonna believe me anyway. So
There were a lot of things I wouldn't have believed approximately 4 days ago. And then my daughter and her teenage friends saved me from a building that exploded with mind control energy, and all of my professional friends are now mind controlled slaves of Parasol Corporation. So try.
Hmm.
okay, well, for comic's sake, there'll probably just be a little rehash of what happened, like a flashback couple panels. But I personally don't super remember very well because it's been too long. So, but she'll
No.
give him the rundown a little bit. A very sanitized, safe rundown.
Alright, I feel ya.
Nobody fired any guns.
Totally
Just
no
like
guns.
super specific denials.
There totally weren't any flesh eating mushrooms involved.
No, it was totally fine. Everyone was safe.
The roof did not collapse off the Parasol building. Oh wait, that was on camera. Never mind, that did happen.
He was about to say, so why did the roof... Why? What did you do?
We didn't do anything, it just kinda happened. I think it was a safety mechanism. I don't know.
Right. Well, after calling every local police department and any still sane hero friends I have, trying to find where you are, tonight has really finalized something me and Hugo have been talking about since the H2A build. And that's when the panels would show him like pick the tickets up off the end table and hold them out in front of your face. We need to get your bags packed. We're taking a flight in the morning and getting off this godforsaken island.
What?
Even that gets my attention.
Yeah, I would say just for the sake of comic book fun, you can totally hear all of this highlight.
They're
Just
arguing a
like
little
wide
loudly.
eyes,
But yeah, I'm sure
trying
the
to sip my coffee politely.
Scott would just say, Emily, you just destroyed a building, and I don't even know if that was the wrong thing to do. We need to leave.
She's gonna be kind of maybe a little uncharacteristically calm about it on the outside. She'll just, oh, okay, then I can go work on that.
All right. Good. This is uncharacteristically little resistance from you as of late. Okay, go pack your bags. We'll talk more, all right? As he like kind of looks, right into your.
Oh,
Intent. He's trying to see if you've got the yellow glow.
alright. So maybe Highlight can help me get some of this stuff packed up, so. And I'll let Jillum know. That way she can find somewhere else to stay.
Highlight, you see Hugo pop his head in like around the corner. That I don't know the floor plan, but the kitchen's pretty open room. He pokes his head over and says, "We weren't sure. Is Jalem your girlfriend, Emily? Because if she is, we can get her a ticket too. We didn't know."
No. I'm good.
I mean, I know you said she didn't have anywhere to stay, and I mean, I wouldn't want you to leave her behind if you two were like serious
No. Goodbye. I'm gonna go upstairs now.
And as a side panel, you just like Void would just see Jillian just suddenly sneeze violently. Ugh, that was weird.
Be careful not to do that near the powders.
I'm trying not to.
All right. Science experiment in Egypt. What exactly are you guys hoping?
In an ideal, perfect universe, something that we could use to cure the city, but other than that, at least something to protect us being affected.
Right.
Like serious things you're hoping to get done here? I'm trying to think of a good way to handle this. What you guys have from after experiencing Young in his lab and what you analyzed, assumedly later, assuming your characters would have kept looking into it, is that the chemicals you have access to were a type of amplifier, more like an immunosuppressant that was meant to be given to the city that suppressed their resistance to mind control. So you'll have to really kind of pull a rabbit out of a hat to turn that into like a miracle cure, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the best we could really hope for is something to make it harder to influence us.
You could definitely try for that. Yeah, it would still be not easy, but you could try.
Well, it's the best bet we're gonna get. It's the best chance we're gonna have. So like we just like look at each other's head. We can't outright negate it, so we can at least dampen the effect, hopefully.
Anything will help at this point. It would certainly put a damper on our efforts if one of us were to turn against the others.
Right. And I mean, do you remember that he ended up making once we took that guy's chemicals at one time?
That chemical that allowed Young to see through my eyes.
Right. I can't help but think that that's like a catalyst.
Potentially, but I'm not sure there would be a way to come up with an opposite to that without risking exposure again.
Right. Which is admittedly where we're finding our biggest hurdle. Because like, we can't actually test. That's the problem.
All right. So, real quick, do either of you have any type of specific move or effect or anything you'd like to engage? Or are you kind of doing this more off the cuff?
I mean, like, I have a move that is that when I unleash my powers to pass an insurmountable wall, which I would hope this counts as one, I roll danger instead of freak. I don't think
do have my belong in two worlds thing that will let me receive a useful piece of alien technology that will allow you to use an ability from another playbook once. I could just like quickly skim through and see if anything jumps out at me as useful in this situation that I could steal.
Okay, feel free to look at that. I don't know, Jilim, if this is something that you can just brute force with especially with your powers. That's if this was something Belladonna had cooked up, maybe because your powers are the same as hers. But given that it's young stuff, I don't know how you would like brute force it, if that makes sense.
Right. So if anything, I guess like I really don't have anything else.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, so if there's something specific that Void can conjure that would help you, that's great. If not, we'll just get into some just general rolling here and see how you guys can.
I do see biokinesis as an ability. That seems like it would be useful for manipulating chemicals.
Definitely could be. If you will remember, a big part of that immunosuppressant compound when it was all mixed together was biological material from you.
Which is still creepy, all things.
Says someone who has the seed of a clone in ours.
Yeah, it's not like she or something. Like he this brain.
True.
So unless can you manipulate that?
Potentially.
I
Out of
don't know.
character, it depends on what I roll.
Yeah.
Right.
And that would be superior. So I can make that roll if you want me to.
You go ahead if you'd like.
So yeah, I can do that and something else. So I get to hold two. So that would be one of the things that I would do. And Consult your people's knowledge to ask the GM a question about the current situation. What to ask?
Sort of while that's ruminating, Muscle Sheep, do you have anything particularly that you'd like to prepare for the end game, quote unquote?
I don't really have anything to prepare for, but I think with Muscle Fox's kind of warning, Muscle Sheep will probably take to doing some laps around the park.
Putting in a bit of extra training?
Just a little bit of training. And if anyone asks, he's chasing squirrels.
Alright. Go ahead and, I don't know if there's somewhere to write this on the sheet, but you can take one forward. So the next time you want to, kind of like an inspiration die, you can just add one to a roll you make when you feel you need it.
Okay, let's see. All right.
Did you figure out your plan, Void?
The question I think I have. I'm trying to remember. It's been so long. The character that I ran into that is another member of my race.
The Observer.
The Observer. Yeah, that was it. I'd like to see if I can contact him. This will be my question to you, but the way I'm doing it in character, to see if I can get any information about what the third member of the Parasol leadership that we haven't really heard anything about, what they're up to.
Okay. Can do. So here's what we'll do for this. You will do your best to try and find and track down the Observer. Kind of while you're doing that, you're letting Jalim handle some of the basic chemical mixings and some experimentations you're trying to do. So Jalim, if you would roll, give me one plus superior roll and one plus freak roll, and we'll see how that can do.
Does she get any benefit from the alien tech?
Let's see.
It does, I guess, specifically say that it will allow me to use an ability from another playbook once, so I'm not sure if she would be able to use it, but that's up to you, I guess.
Well, because the superior was with no bonuses.
Why was it with no bonus?
The roll you... one was superior and the other one, what was the other? Danger?
Free. Okay, so you did passably on both, so just for sort of narratively here. Your tech you'll be able to use, Void Spawn will affect a different part of this, but
Okay.
as you, Jalim, are working on this, you are able to. You're used to working with power affecting things. You made a power up serum for Pandorans already, so this isn't terribly out of your wheelhouse, and you think you can get a decent base for like an immuno booster.
Mm-hmm.
To put the jewel in the crown, so to speak, you'll need to manipulate the DNA of Young, which is where your tech will come in handy, Void Spawn.
Roger that.
So before we get to the Observer, then back down into the household below. Emily, you're out of his sight for now. What's the plan?
I am gonna start packing up some of my clothes and my laptop and, getting ready to leave.
It's at that point like the 6 dogs just start following you.
And she'll kind of talk to him like, like people do, and baby voice at them and tell them that everything's gonna be okay, and she's gonna take them somewhere fun here soon, and we just gotta hang out for a little bit longer.
And then, how well packed are you? Like, while she's saying that, like, how fast is she moving?
Pretty fast. She's trying to get it done for nightfall this evening.
Because of that, you would have like Ebby, the retriever, actually helping you, like grabbing stuff from any open shelf and just like giving it to you.
Yes. She's
And then
probably... Go ahead.
And then you have Samson, the huge Alaskan Malamute, guarding the door.
She's probably not packing very well, like mostly clothes and a couple little things, but she's trying to just get what she can to get out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right, gotcha. So your plan here is very very much to like skip out.
Yep, she is packing. She is being good, but she's gonna probably skedoodle at some point that evening and not come home.
So you are not running away now, but you're gonna try and sneak out later tonight, type of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. So you're able to handle that. You'll eventually, assuming you didn't have something else in mind, come back downstairs with your mostly somewhat packed bags, and you'll still find Void Spawn, or not, sorry, Void Spawn, Highlight being given like a second mug of cocoa by Hugo,
Oh my gosh.
who is trying to like get to the bottom of why this poor boy is like, he's 16 and he seems like he needs alcohol. Like, what's going on with what stuff did y'all see today? Type of a deal.
I thought Dad
My
was the
follower
doctor.
count dropped by 2,000.
Oh, don't even judge with that. That probably would just kill Highlight.
And Hugo is just like, why do you have so many stalkers?
Oh no.
He does his best.
As you start to come back around, and you know, he's kind of surprised that he didn't have to like have a big argument with you over it. But Scott does come around, and eventually he'll clap you on the shoulder and he'll say like, I know this might be shocking for you, but our family we were never gonna be frontline heroes, Emily. This isn't our fight. This is too dangerous for my daughter. We need to get you out of here.
I trust you.
Well, if you have the rest of your friends on your phone or something, you should tell them to do the same. This city's not gonna be around much longer. I would bet.
Yeah, I might go and meet them. Maybe for some fast food this evening. Since it is kind of short notice and I won't get to see them again.
Well, I mean, there's no saying that you'll never see them again, but maybe, sure. I mean, you already had them crash our dining room once. I mean, what's to stop them from doing it again?
Yeah, I'll talk to them and we might go out for some milkshakes or something.
He'll kind of look sideways. Maybe not. I kind of mouthing to you. Maybe not this one. He's Had a lot to drink already.
He's not lactose intolerant, Dad.
As Highlight does his best to get high off of cinnamon powder.
He's doing it for the vine.
Oh no. Bringing back the cinnamon challenge.
Oh God.
Well, when you try to bring back a 10-year-old meme, you know your career has hit rock bottom.
Void Spawn, you never got a specific contact information from the observer. He made a point of telling you no when you asked for that. But you put your feelers out the best way you can, in a not alien way, in a total like metaphorical way.
Why not both?
Maybe both. But you try and send messages that you're looking for him. You probably even pass the message along to the other members of your cadre to see if any of them can point you in the right direction, type of thing. You do eventually get a ping, a message to your ship's systems that tells you to return to the water treatment facility late tonight, around maybe 3 p.m. Earth time.
3
I'm
p.m.
sorry,
or 3
3
a.m.?
a.m. 3 a.m.
Okay, I was gonna say
sorry.
that's not late. Yeah, I'll let Jillam know what's going on, so in case I suddenly go missing, there's at least somebody who knows what happened, but other than that, I'll plan on attending.
So you're
All
gonna
right.
go alone.
Yes.
I
Did
hope
not
you.
strike me as the sort that would welcome a whole crowd coming to meet it.
Well, like, I hope you know that I'm kind of against us splitting up right now.
I am aware, but this contact is a very secretive sort. I don't think he would meet with me if he saw anyone else with me.
Hmm. Well, I mean, do what you have to do.
It does concern me that there is still a major player in this conflict that has not revealed themselves to us.
Right.
Alright, so kind of interjecting here, you can correct me if you have a different thing in mind, Emily, but Jalim, as the night wears on, you'll eventually get a text from Emily to the group chat of come get milkshakes with me type of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Give you kind of an out that you can use to give Void his distance.
All right. And Jillian just like sends a very like a confused face emoji, like, what? Kind of random, but okay. Something happened.
She'll write back. Nope. Just milkshakes and then a bunch of like polite cat emojis. Like stickers. Just in case her parents happen to see it.
Huh.
Okay, so what will eventually happen is Emily, Jillian, highlight a wobbly sad sack highlight, and just for fun, you guys will probably go and pick up Muscle Sheep for milkshake.
Yay!
Wait, can you even have a milkshake, Sheeb?
He can
As
have
long
a
as it's not chocolate.
puppuccino.
Puppuccino.
Yeah.
But, so you four will go for milkshakes to talk about Emily's problems, and Void Spawn, you'll lift the ship up and take off back towards the water treatment plant.
To face my own problems.
Yep.
Me.
Yep, yep.
Alrighty, well, when we left off, the group had split the party, as is tradition in this campaign. We were going to deal with two different sort of groups going forward. We'll start with the milkshake friends, I believe. Oh no, well that was Dan. Okay. Right. So Emily, where were you taking your friends for milkshakes, or were you?
Still probably taking them to get milkshakes, but we can get them and walk. We're not gonna sit in and eat. Is it Cookout that has like the bazillion milkshake flavors, babe?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, we'll take them to Cookout. Do y'all have
Not
Cookout?
I have no idea what that
I
is.
hear they don't.
It's a southern thing, I
Nope.
think. Oh no! It's they do burgers and fries and stuff, but they have like 40 different milkshake flavors and you can combine them. So if you want like a half pumpkin and a half like cinnamon roll flavor, you can get that. It's amazing.
So like a Cold Stone Creamery, but for milkshakes instead of ice cream.
Pretty much, I think.
They try and be like a mini Five Guys for college towns.
Five Guys doesn't do milkshakes though.
I know, but their burgers are like Five Guys.
But yeah.
But anyway, not sponsored. Is we just have we would get a nice panel of the four of you walking down the street at night, the different height levels of you with your different milkshakes, muscle sheep like kind of craning over his type of a deal, and you guys would be walking and talking.
So what's up? Is everything with you and your parents okay?
They... Sorry, that was my cat in the background. They're trying to get me to be on a flight out of here tomorrow.
I see. So
Yeah.
what? So what's up?
I've got my bags packed and everything, and I am going to the hideout tonight instead. So, I don't know what's gonna happen after that, but...
That to them will just raise an eyebrow. Huh. So I'm okay with that?
I'm sorry?
Are you okay with that?
I mean, I'm gonna have to be. I don't wanna go anywhere. I don't wanna leave, but they're not giving me a choice, so... They think I'm coming. I did pack some of my stuff up, but I'm just staying here. I'm gonna hide out. I don't know what other choice I have.
Muscle Sheep, do you have any comment to your friends' talks about leaving?
I think Muscle Sheep is too engrossed by the fact that there are such tasty things as milkshakes.
Yeah, fair enough.
If Void were there, he would suggest potentially commuting to crime fighting.
Yeah, let's commit crimes.
Anyways, like I was surprised you're going with this, but I mean, hey, that means we get to have you around for like the final skirmish. By the way, where's Highlight?
He said he had a trend to get up on, so he said he was gonna come join us when he was done. That he wasn't feeling very well after chugging all that cinnamon.
Seriously?
Yeah. My dad made him hot chocolate and he saw that we had cinnamon and he went for it.
I got nothing.
Just want to paint a picture here that Sheeb is holding his little cup milkshake with both hands, and his tongue is going all the way down into the cup, just like that. Blah, 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 blah.
What flavor did they get, Muscle Sheep?
Probably just vanilla.
Yeah,
Did it-
honestly.
Or peanut butter.
Ooh, peanut butter.
That would make more sense.
My
I
dog
can see
loved
it doing
peanut
that.
butter.
It tastes like peanut butter, but it doesn't stick on your mouth like peanut butter. Blah, 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 blah.
For science, what did everybody else get?
Highlight probably got something cotton candy related.
I was thinking the same thing.
Jalim, some herbal green tea shit.
Matcha or something.
A salberry.
Richter?
Hello?
Hey, were you saying something? You weren't picking up.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying anything. Like, Jillian is just, like, silent as she's just taking it all in.
Emily is not going to mention the fact that they offered to buy her a plane ticket.
Oh.
Emily's just going to pretend that didn't happen.
Hey, is it that wrong that your dads thought you might have had leanings that way, given their leanings that way?
I don't think that's hereditary, sweetheart.
No, but they're understanding. If you want to branch out from the norm,
I'm an
who are they to
idiot.
judge?
I
I
said
mean,
it's
they
not.
already gave you the alien STD talk.
I just sat here and said, I don't think sexuality is hereditary, knowing that I had her be adopted.
What?
Okay, so void spawn.
First of all, for the record, he probably would have picked some absolutely bizarre fish flavored thing.
Oh no.
Because he doesn't know one taste from another. He'd just be like, oh, they have this. Why is nobody else ordering this? I'll try it.
Oh, it tastes horrible.
And then he just continues drinking it.
This is disgusting. I hate this. More?
How
please?
intriguing! This is awful.
I mean, coming from the thing that ate DVDs is probably an improvement.
Yeah, at least this is actually food.
But we'll get some good panels of the ship flying back to the water treatment plant. If it was abandoned before, it's even more abandoned now. Like, you might even have like the not a tumbleweed, but like the wind spiral effect in the panel to show like there's no one here.
Just some leaves gently wafting on a breeze.
Yeah. But you pull the ship down and you'll disembark, and sure enough, you didn't see him when you were landing the ship, but standing a good 10-15 feet away is an old woman.
Hello again? Question mark, I presume?
Uh, the the old woman will smile and nod at you in a very creepy way, and immediately then start to like melt and become the same gray stuff you become in your normal form and reshape into a taller, more adult version of the Velthor Federation. It is good to see that you are keeping well. How have you managed to contact me, Void Spawn?
Well, as loath as I am to rely on resources back home, I'd like to strike out on my own, as it were. Uh, it seems we are in a situation where it was necessary to contact you, so I tapped some of those resources.
And what is it that you believe I can help you with? And why would you believe that I would choose to help you with them?
Well, it is a benefit to both of our research paths, I believe. You seem to have your thumb on the button of the more villainous activities in Halcyon, and you must be aware of what they are attempting to do here.
Given my observations of your recent activities, I suppose you are referring to the events of Parasol Corporation's attempted takeover.
You cut off at the end there.
Uh, Parasol Corporation's attempted takeover.
Yes, that would be it.
In a manner that instantly becomes familiar to you in the worst kind of way. He does that 90-degree head tilt thing to the left as he just looks. I see. You still have not answered my second question, however. While it might be beneficial for both of us, from my point of view, you have been rather hypocritical, Voids.
How so?
When last we met, you bade me not to practice what I had been observing. You said that I should avoid fieldwork in the field of villainy. From my observations, you have shown no such restraint for your studies into heroism.
I am not attempting to be a hero. I am attempting to maintain a balance in this scenario. The scales seem to be tipping heavily towards the side of villainy, so it is necessary for my intervention to ensure that my own means of researchers aren't. I can't talk, hang on. Need a glass of water. Sorry about that. Throat was drying out. My own subjects of research are not pushed out of the city entirely or brought under the control of Dr. Young.
Yes, it is an interesting hypothesis. You see, I believe I would fundamentally disagree with you on the nature of Parasol Corporation. I studied them for quite a while to attempt to ascertain their true nature, and from my standing, they are not villains.
Well, I am nothing if not open to the ideas of others. What is your interpretation of events?
Villains are inherently self-motivated. It was this particular aspect of their psychology that drove me to study them. Parasol can be, and certainly the directors are, rather selfish in their ambitions, but their end goals are more gray. They hope to further benefit the evolution of the human race, further delve down the path of superpower development and Pandoran creation. This utilitarian aspect is, in my eyes, heroic.
If what you say is true, there is certainly a benefit to that if the means justify the ends, or the ends justify the means, rather. But it seems counterproductive then to bring Pandorans all under the influence of one particular superpowered individual.
Yes, Dr. Young is troublesome. I believe that I will help you, Voidspawn, not out of any suggested reasons you have provided, but simply because I find Parasol's lack of innovation, its stagnation, to be uninteresting.
Well, whatever your reasons, I certainly welcome the help.
Uh, quick scene transition there, just being dynamic. Emily, Jalim, or where are you meandering to as you were walking around?
Um, so we're just like walking around the town or the shop where she got said milkshakes, but at the same time, like Jilema's just being overly paranoid as per usual these days, and just like staring at, keeping her eyes peeled at everyone.
What do you mean they're going anywhere? That they're not just loitering teenagers that stand outside the Walmart for 3 hours because they don't have anything else to do?
I mean, that's fair. I didn't know if you had like a goal in mind, I guess is my question.
I didn't really. I was just trying to get her out of the house. That way her parents wouldn't overhear. But that was about it.
And like we're not trying to find trouble.
We're just hanging out in the Waffle House at 3 a.m.
As
Yeah.
kids do.
Fair enough. As you probably are one of the first to finish your milkshake, Muscle Sheep, do you have anything else you wanted to add to that conversation?
Mainly that I do not understand what is going on. Because Muscle Sheep is only concerned with squirrels and the mailman and possibly Muscle Fox.
Maybe it would occur to Sheep to maybe share some of his concerns about Muscle Fox with his friend.
Muscle Fox says I need to fight him.
Why?
I don't know. He just says I need to fight him.
Did you ask him why?
Yes.
Yes.
I did ask
Okay.
him.
And his answer is because they have to?
Because we have to fight. Apparently, I need to be strong. But Muscle Sheep is already strong. Look at Muscle Sheep's muscles. Ah!
You distantly hear a 4 in response.
Hmm.
Also, he said something about cat.
Wait, what?
I don't know. Angry cat. Might be coming soon. Brother Fox says I must fight Brother Cat. But I don't understand.
And then Jillian just like pauses, pinching the bridge of her nose. Oh god, we have another one.
Do you perk up at all at the mention of cat, Emily?
Why would she? She's a dog person.
Okay.
Gasp.
Truly, this is not this is deep role playing for you, having to go
Oh my
outside your
god,
comfort.
babe! You know I've owned dogs, right?
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Okay. Smash cut back to the observer as he extends a hand at a very, again, mechanical right-angled gesture as he says, I have a concept I wish to share with you, Voidspawn, but otherwise, what is it that I can help you with that would aid you in stopping Parasol?
Well, we are aware of Young and Belladonna's machinations, but as you are aware, there is a third member of Parasol's leadership, and we are not privy to what their intentions are.
I believe you refer to Echidna, do you not? Not the fourth director who has long since been enacted?
Yes, Echidna.
Yes, Echidna's specialty is zoology. Her natural Pandoran abilities allow her to splice the genes of animals together and create chimera.
Muscle Sheep's just sitting there like, that sounds interesting. Wait, is this happening at the... Or is
No,
this
you
the...
guys are in a separate area.
So, okay, sorry. I just kind of blanked for a second there. I'm like, wait, that's not happening.
Just
You're
show
I
up.
mean, you do have super dog senses. You might overhear it.
I probably can't hear it that far.
I don't know, roll a freak. If you get a 12, you do.
Do it, do it, do it.
All right, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Ah!
Oh shit!
God.
Oh no!
Yes!
As
Oh,
if
God.
a divine whisper on the wind, you suddenly get a whiff of this conversation happening miles away in your ears, Muscle Sheep.
Well, it's probably because it's Void Spawn, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. It's probably because he knows what Void Spawn sounds like, so he can like filter out the noises of like everyone talking and flies buzzing and whatnot, so he can hear Void Spawn talking. He's like, "Ooh, I wonder what this conversation is," and he kind of perks up for a moment just to listen.
He can't
Can't
concentrate.
believe he
too.
got a 13, and that's not even the highest he can roll.
Right.
Freak is
Yeah,
my highest.
that's awesome, though. Good job.
You can't concentrate super long on the conversation though, because then you can't taste your milkshake.
Well, I've already done slurping up my milkshake.
Hush.
You could buy me another one if I sit there with my puppy dog eyes.
I mean, probably would, honestly.
He's not leaving till he
That's what's
tries all
happening.
56 flavors.
He's like listening for a moment, and then like he listens in for like 5 seconds, and then the next milkshake is placed in front of him, so he just immediately snaps back and starts slurping up his next milkshake. Okay, sorry.
No, you're totally fine. But yeah, the observer will continue and say something along the lines of, her ambitions are not as wide-reaching as the other directors. She would be content to pursue her long-held ambition within her laboratory privately, the creation of the ultimate life form.
So you believe that she will not pose a direct interference if we were to attempt to stop Young's plans?
I believe that may have been the case until recently. Like a bee withdrawing from its nest after long hibernation, she has become agitated as of late due to the missing nature of several of her projects.
Yes, we had heard that Young has manipulated events, so several projects of the others are placed under his control.
Indeed, Young and Belladonna typically found Echidna to be useful if difficult to manage. Her temperament was quite different than theirs, But make no mistake, she is no less savage. If anything, she is the most villainous of the three.
So, are you aware then, to get directly to it, of any plans she has to influence what's going on here?
The towers that are being constructed are primarily meant to benefit Young and to a lesser extent Belladonna. When they are built, the mind control abilities of Young and the plant manipulation abilities of Belladonna will be enacted over the entire city. For Echidna, this simply means the ability to communicate with her perfect life form anywhere within the city. If she is able to create it, it will be the ultimate enforcer of Parasol's will on this island.
Useful method of control, but compared to the others, it does not seem nearly as worthy a goal.
To Echidna, the worthiness is in the creation. She has labored for decades to create the muscle creatures, hoping to chimerize them into the perfect being.
So the towers would mean much less to her if they were destroyed.
Indeed, but I need not restate that whether they mean anything to her or not, you have made her angry, Voidspawn.
Well, perhaps that anger can be redirected then.
Yes, perhaps. Now, if that is all that I could provide you for your questions, I will hand you my freely given advice. I believe you have heard that 4 towers are being constructed to amplify the powers of the Parasol Directors.
That is what we have been told, yes.
The 3 directors each control 1 tower. I have seen them all with my own eyes. Young's is in his primary laboratory. You have already visited it. Belladonna's is in the Arboretum, in her primary greenhouse. Echidna's is in the sewers, in an area not far from where you first met your friend underneath the city, Woodspawn. The 4th is being built in the H2A building as we speak. It is the only incomplete one.
Well, you mentioned that each of the 3 have control of their own towers. Would it be unwise to then presume that the director that has gone dark for so long may in fact be in control of this 4th tower being constructed?
Void, he will smile interestingly and kind of his head will do the reverse to the other kink, other side tilt as he says, "Your instinct does you great service, Voidspawn. The 4th director did, some decades ago, renounce his organization and join the H2A. He is Dr. Mobius, the other 5-star member of the H2A.
That is very interesting and potentially very useful information.
I believe I have given you more than enough to be getting on with. If that is all, I wish to recommence my observations of true villain."
I will leave you to it then. If you ever need anything from me, I will be glad to return the favor.
I believe we both know that your obligations have been measured and will be paid in full when the time requires it.
Of course.
And with that, he will turn, give a small nod of the head, and melt into the form of a roughly 9-year-old boy and skip off back towards the city.
Ideally, also like doing one of those creepy horror movie child humming.
Oh, totally, like music notes coming off of him.
Just la 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 la. And I
This
guess
isn't.
I will. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say this isn't super plot relevant for you guys' actions, but maybe just for the comic and some world building. As he'd skip away, there'd be a thought bubble for the observer as he just says, "It is a shame. I truly wish that one day I will find a villain to observe who was as interesting as Darkspace. I hope he returns soon."
That's foreboding. Yeah, I guess I'll pack back up into the ship and attempt to track down the rest of my party.
And you'll probably be able to find them loitering outside of a milkshake store, very conspicuous.
Well, it's about to get more conspicuous as I park my spaceship in the street.
There's some very drunk college kids bumbling around that are like not believing what they're seeing right now. As they also are stumbling into the Waffle House at 3 a.m.
Of course.
But Jalim, Sheeb, Emily, your friend's spaceship materializes in front of.
I think you'd be showing up. What took you so long?
And then at that, Jillem will actually walk up to Void. Like, does he have a humanoid form, or is he like in his usual shape?
Well, my usual shape around you guys is the humanoid form. I probably would have dropped it when I was talking to him, but I'd have picked it back up again.
Hello, I am Sheep.
Hello, Sheeb. I am Void.
Slop,
And
slop, slop, slop.
Jillem will actually go up to Void and actually like kind of like grab him by the chin, and then just like stare into his eyes.
Pulls out the pen light, the whole 9 yards.
Pretty much.
So, Jalim, roll a plus superior to assess Voidspawn's face, and Emily, roll whatever fortitude save you need to not panic that Jalim is about to kiss Voidspawn. Aw. Okay, so much to the horror of Emily's overactive imagination, where she you'd get the picture in the panel of her version of events as a very Bishonen Voidspawn is kissed by Jalim, and that's like the 5th person he's dating right now, apparently. So, but to your relief, Jalim, you do a very thorough check over, and not only does he not have the golden eyes, but not even the like lesser rings that some of the members you've seen have, like a highlights manager.
Mm-hmm.
He looks clean, so it's reassuring.
And at that, Jillem will just like let him go. Alright, you're fine. And does she notice like a blushing Emily?
Does she?
apparently.
And she'll just like turn to, are you okay?
Do you need another milkshake?
No, I'm good. Just a little warm out here.
Okay.
Okay, but you guys are able to reunite and perfectly get on the ship without too much delay, as those drunk college kids are probably getting bolder by the.
Alright, so when do you want us to pick you up? Or when do you want to leave, so to speak?
Wait, who is leaving?
Oh yeah, Emily, you want to explain what's going down?
My dad's wanted to take me, wanted us to move tomorrow, and I'm not going. So I am going to hide out in the hideout.
Well, it is certainly good to hear that you are not leaving, and the more the merrier in this situation.
Probably she'll look at Jellum, and I'll probably try to come over this evening after they've gone to bed and try to sneak out with everything.
Hmm. Alright. I just hope that, they don't stay up late suspecting this.
As we'll have to Metal Gear Solid you out of there.
Pretty much. I mean, worst comes to worst, we can do the whole villainous act.
If need be, I can potentially position my ship over your house and use the mining lasers to excise your room from the rest of the structure.
That's fine.
That or I can have Seymour put them to sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say a distraction might be good, but
Wait, so alright, you want Seymour to put them to sleep permanently?
No, as in like just release a sort of like powder that'll knock them out.
I could just see him trying really hard to interpret that as eat.
well, maybe
Is
one
that?
of the dogs can just cause a fit then. And then everybody will be safe.
I mean, is one of your uh, is one of your dads afraid of dogs or something?
No, but if they make a big mess or make a loud noise somewhere in the house, they're probably gonna go check it out. And then I can slip out after that.
You could have Muscle Sheep attack the family car again.
But then how will they get to the airport?
They will steal a car.
Everybody becomes a villain. It's the worst timeline.
Alright, how much of your debriefing do you want to share with your friends, Void Spawn?
Pretty much all of it, especially the part about Mobius.
Jillem pauses at that, like, Mobius. Where have I heard that name?
So Mobius would have absolutely been before your time, Jalim, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
think you would have really gotten anything from working there.
Mm-hmm.
If Highlight was around to speak for himself, he could probably make a roll. He could make a roll and try and get something. Because Mobius is a 5-star hero. He's pretty well known. He doesn't do a lot, but he's like really strong to the public.
Okay.
He's got kind of a mad chemist aesthetic and rarely leaves the H2A tower.
So he's most likely brain jacked.
That, or he has been planning this for quite some time.
Right. Hmm.
Well, you guys will make your way back to Emily's house. You drop Emily off for now. She goes down and rejoins or gets back toward looking at the status of her home. Maybe while you're waiting for that, you can attempt to put the finishing touches on the thing you were making with the Jillian Void Spawn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if I specifically got him to give you like a tech thing, but you can, we'll say with help he gave you, make a whatever role that move called for to complete this project.
Okay, yeah, that was superior.
All right, and do you get like a bonus to that for like the holding of it?
Well, that is specifically, there's like no one way or the other. It's just it lets me use an ability from another playbook. So that would be the ability to use biokinesis for this.
Okay, I gotcha. So is that a superior role then, or is it like unleashing that power in a weird?
That'd be up to your interpretation. Doesn't say one way or the other.
I'll let you do whatever you feel fits the situation better.
Normally, I would probably be inclined to say unleash your powers, but since it's tech-based and not like specifically something I'm doing, I guess either superior or mundane.
I think superior would be good if you want to roll that.
Okay.
And just in case, you do have a team if you want to use it.
Good to know. Don't even need it.
Nice. So yeah, Jillian, you were able to put together a pretty decent base for this project, given your already background and having done research on augmenting Pandoran abilities with your power.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to kind of reverse, like flip some switches and things with that kind of design and work out a prototype. But the real finishing touches were done by Void Spawn using this sort of borrowed power that Observer hooked him up with to infuse it with the little bit of Young's DNA compound you still had access to from your samples.
Can you repeat that?
Void was able to finish it off by infusing it with the bit of DNA from Young, hit the compound, the golden one that you guys still had a bit of.
Mm-hmm.
With you guys did a pretty good job rolling, so you're able to synthesize something that looks pretty. It's a nice kind of opalescent, not really clear, but like a colorless glowing crystal type compound. You're not sure exactly what it would do, but it looks pretty.
Huh.
You said it's
Well,
a crystal or crystalline?
Crystalline.
well, let's hope this is enough.
The gold stuff, when it was all mixed together, made a crystalline thing like that, which dissolved in the water.
So it would be safe to assume then that we could drink this, essentially.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just fancy crystal light.
Without the cancer,
Right?
hopefully.
Okay, down in the house, Emily, it's like 4 in the morning at this point, and thankfully your dads aren't as stupid as I am in real life and have gone to sleep by.
Uh,
So, are you gonna get your things together and make a run for it?
First,
Would
make sure you cast Pass Without Trace.
you make it down to the bottom floor and retrieve your bags and stuff from where everything had been stashed by the front door for you guys getting ready to leave, probably in a couple hours actually, because planes. But as you walk through the kitchen to get there, there is a by now cold hot chocolate with that had been towering with whipped cream that has now like fallen in and gotten limp and sad. It's been sitting here for hours, and there's a note by it written by your dads.
What does it say?
Um, Addressed Emily. It's definitely in Hugo's handwriting. Um, I know that you have a lot of questions. I know that we have a lot of things to talk about, and we'll have some time on the plane tomorrow. But before you go to bed, we just wanted to let you know that we like you how you are, and we don't think you need to be the type of hero that Apology is to be an awesome daughter. Just don't feel bad about that. Like, signed Hugo, and on and on and on.
Okay. She'll take that note and put it in her bags with her and dump out and clean the cup and put it in the rack. This rack to make it look like she drank it, and then probably try to scoot out.
Stealth check plus 10.
Be a mundane, probably, honestly.
I'm not gonna make you
Sure.
roll for it. I'm not gonna make you roll for it.
Aw.
Narratively, that would go bad if you just fucked it up.
Danger to directly engage your dads.
At least slams the door on the way out. And
directly
just
directly engage the floorboards.
You pass by, the house is quiet. You swear you can almost hear the snoring coming from their second floor bedroom, but you make it back up to the roof unmolested. Oh, as a side note, everyone in the ship, and as you return to the roof, can totally still see the neighbor dude standing on the street corner.
Like to
Vintage Sim.
Oh no.
He's like 10 pounds underweight, hasn't eaten in a week.
He actually looks surprisingly fine, but yeah, he's still there.
Does he? Which way is he facing us? Can he see us?
I
You'd
think
have
he's
to.
just stuck in a logic loop.
He looks like he had at one point been watching the house, but yeah, it's like he's kind of waiting for a command to be entered, if that makes sense.
I didn't know if it was a trap, if I needed to worry about him seeing us or not. I'm gonna tell my dad.
Yeah, maybe he is. You don't know.
If you are concerned, I can kill him on our way out.
Void. No, that's fine. You don't have to do that.
I really need a morality meter for this campaign. Well, you guys are able to sail away in the spaceship, probably right as the sun is starting to come up, just for dramatic things and art. But you make it back to the park, you settle the ship, cloak it, get out, and at least Emily and whoever else wants to will rejoin Neri down in her secret laboratory, and she'll pat you on the shoulder when you kind of explain what's up, Emily, and offer you a blanket to curl up on. It's a lab. It's not really a comfortable space, but you can pull up a corner.
Good.
Nari's being nice to you. Something is horribly wrong.
Didn't judge her weird growth, so I think I deserve it.
But yeah, we'll say that that's sort of the end of this sort of streak. But before we really call that the end of the issue, more out of character conversation, but just for me to know what's sort of the next objective for y'all. You now know where all the different towers are probably located if the observer's not full of shit. You have your goals. What are you guys going to do about it?
I think taking out the one that's under construction, now that we know that it's in H2A, is probably out of the question. Like, the ship could probably punch a hole in the side of the building, but after that, we're in a building full of heroes under mind control.
I have a question that you may or may not be able to answer. This is out of character. Do we know if these towers are all located on this island?
Yes, because assuming that Void Spawn's information is good and the observer was leading you correctly, he gave you the precise location of the four of them on the island.
Okay.
Now, that is a question. What you will have to maybe consider is how much you trust him, Void Spawn, but he told you what he wanted to tell you.
I mean, he's definitely sparked some suspicion just based on his general behavior and his choice of things to research, but beyond that, he hasn't done anything to make Voidspawn think that he would lie to him.
Very true. But I think your assessment is a fair one. It's almost like they planned that pretty well, and they're building the last and most important one where it's going to be the most protected.
Sorry. Hello?
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about the. What did I miss?
Kind of wrapping up the session. You guys,
Oh.
Emily escaped. She's in the bunker with Neri, but kind of just for my planning considerations, I was asking you guys what your goals are going to be. What's your plan? Because you have your quest log is full now. You know what you need to do, but how are you going to do it?
I guess we can blow it up.
The issue is that the last one is being constructed inside the H2A building, so in order to get to it, we'd have to fight through probably almost all the heroes in the city.
Like I said, we could always blow it up.
Okay.
I mean, worst comes to worst, we can have someone again be the bait.
So, and just to be clear, there are 4 towers that you know the location of. Are you just going after the incomplete one, or do you want to get them all? I don't really know what your goal as a team is.
I still think the money thing is an issue. We have to make sure that they can't just throw more money at it and immediately rebuild it.
Right. So I think part of it is to at least take out two of the 4
Gesundheit.
towers. Thank you. Take out 2 of the 4 towers, 1 complete, 1 incomplete, to at least put a dent in their wallet. And then from there, see if we can just take the whole wallet.
So perhaps looking more at less the towers and more taking out the people who are behind the building of them, like the director.
Right. Oh, but the thing is, like, if we go after if we go after tower destruction, we are literally just playing right into their hands. Like, we literally are just becoming their villains.
It's true. If we go after the ones controlling them, then the towers themselves basically become inert. But then the issue is, how do we deal with them permanently without just straight up murdering them, unless we are fine with that?
Muscle sheep is not fine.
Your DM is not fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, worst comes to worst, like an idea that I'm actually throwing around is that for a distraction, we throw Fox and Sheep at them, and they just fight everybody, including each other. And then while they're causing the ruckus, the rest of us sneak in.
This is sneaking into the H2A or just to any of the towers?
Any of the towers, really.
I mean, it could work in the short term, but I'm not sure that even with their combined strength, that they would be able to fight off wave after wave of heroes with the kind of attention that would draw.
Right.
Well,
And there is the matter that we do know now that sorry, losing my voice again. Echidna is very interested in recovering the 2 of them.
it seems that she was not pleased that they're walking free right now.
Hmm.
So perhaps final detail or finer details could be worked out later, but maybe just for my planning's sake. Do you guys have a strong feeling for maybe like which ones you're targeting more than the others? Like, is it the H2A1 and Youngs and fuck Belladonna and Echidna? Like, what's the goal?
Honestly, going straight for the one in H2A is suicide.
Echidna's may be the best to deal with first because she has the least to lose in protecting it, so I don't think she'll have set up much.
Right.
But we would probably want to then deal with her in some way or another, because that will definitely poke the proverbial hornet's nest. Or we could just hand over Muscle Fox and Muscle Sheep and hope that whatever chimera she wants to create with them winds up being on our side. Seems like a risky gamble, though.
Yeah, and I'm really not one to just permanently sacrifice an ally.
I'm a Muscle Sheep. How do you feel about being an awesome chimera? Ryukin?
Oh, sorry, I guess I was muted. Muscle sheep is not chimera. Muscle sheep is sheep.
It's about what I thought. So from the sounds of it, probably looking for Echidna. Gonna start maybe next week.
Seems like the path of least resistance at the very.
Also, muscle sheep is concerned about this cat.
Oh god.
As you should be. But yeah, so we'll get to that. We'll start with that next week. Obviously, some finer details will be worked out when session starts, but that will be the first sort of objective we'll point towards. I think it will perhaps go without saying, but just for some out of character laying on the table, we are getting towards the end game for this now. The taking out of these particular objectives are like the capstones to some of the plots I've had going on, so be thinking about that when you make decisions about what you're purchasing, your moments of truth type things, however you want to handle that, and have the questions, we can talk about them, but laying that on the table.
Yeah, I think Moment of Truth will probably be the next thing I unlock.
I already unlocked it just in case.
All right,
Well,
so
I think I know where I want my moment of truth is actually.
I think mine is probably, just based on the way it's worded, the best way to use it is when we're going for the H2A. But it's basically just like calling in the air cavalry.
all right, well, I think I'm going to not bother with the closer to the team stuff since we don't have Dan here again, and I don't want to deprive him of stuff. So I'll just say for balance's sake, everyone just mark a potential for session completion, and I'll mark one for him. But we'll call that a good session for tonight.